Thank you to everyone who has been following along and listening to the Dandy Dozen mini podcast and reading the Dandy Dozen stories in either the print edition or online at nwfdailynews.com since we started releasing them one per day on August 17th. We're finishing it up. This is the last episode, the last Dandy Dozen article and the last Dandy Dozen mini podcast episode. It's going to be with Walton running back Azende Rey. So, and again, thank you for following along. For everyone who has listened to any of them, whether it's one or all 11 of the mini podcasts, and who has read, whether it be one or all 12 of the articles, thank you for doing so. I wanted to mention a sponsor that is in the Northwest Florida Daily News' high school football season preview publication, which actually was released today in the print edition of the Northwest Florida Daily News. That sponsor is White Wilson Medical Center. They have immediate care clinics open on Saturdays in Fort Walton Beach, Navarre, and Niceville. So, hey, you get injured on Friday, you're playing football, obviously injuries happen. You have the ability to go in, get looked at. You can call to schedule an appointment if you need to. The phone number is 850-863-8100. They hope, as do I, that we have no injuries, that everyone has a great, healthy season, but injuries happen. And they are here, White Wilson Medical Center here in Fort Walton Beach, Niceville, and Navarre, just in case, Friday night there happens to be an injury, and you need to get looked at right away. Devin Golden here with the Northwest Florida Daily News. Out at Walton High School, it's hot, it's humid, and I got small school player of the year, offensive player of the year, Walton High School senior running back Azende Rey. Azende, how are you doing? You doing good? Okay. First off, congratulations, Dandy Dozen selection for the second straight year. First off, want to go and say, Dandy Dozen selection 2 years in a row. You were a small school player of the year last year. Does that bring with it a pressure? A pressure to perform, maybe? I don't know.
It doesn't bring pressure. It is what it is. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna enhance my skills. I'm gonna get better and better each day.
I got you. So just better and better each day. You don't let it get overwhelming. You don't let it get too much to you, I guess.
No, sir.
Okay. Last year, you guys were playing Madison County. You lose basically by an extra point, right? Describe that feeling after the game. I know that had to hurt, right?
It was bad. I just had got over it in the spring, but at the same time, it was a little mistakes we had made, but we'll fix it, and hopefully it doesn't happen this year.
Do you think that if you guys would have won that game, that you would have kept going, that you would have beaten, say, Florida High, that you would have kept going and going and going?
Indeed.
Do you think you had a state championship caliber team?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What about last year to this year's different?
The difference between last year and this year is we have a lack of depth, but everybody has heart. And last year, that's probably the best team in 2 years that I played.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Okay. Who do you think is, Walton's kind of, I think it's fair to say Walton's isolated. And you guys are kind of on an island where, your closest district opponents are probably like an hour away, pretty much, Mariana. Who is kind of your rival, your biggest rival?
Biggest rival this year?
Just in general, this year. Just in general.
This year would probably be Rutherford.
Really?
I really think they're pretty good.
No, they're going to be new for you guys as far as district opponent. But you think that they're going to be no, South Walton's a rival in the county.
South Walton, I'm not really worried about them right now.
Really?
No.
Okay, all right. You guys also play Baker. That's new. And
Baker's new, and they have some good players. And I'm not going to, belittle them, but they're a pretty good team too.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I actually interviewed a couple of kids. I actually interviewed the quarterback at Baker, and he said, I asked, what's the game that you guys are most excited to play, or what that you are most excited to play? And he said, Walton. He said, I think that there's, those are two really good programs, two really good teams north of I-10, maybe the two best teams north of I-10 as far as, in kind of the small school classifications. And, not very different in the sizes. Do you think that could have a really big game feel to it?
It's a big game. I think that's going to be a rival too. Rutherford and Baker. Baker, I like the way their team was when we played them on 707. So, they got a pretty decent team. We're probably the same matchup. So, I think it's big.
Do you spend a lot? You've been recruited. You've been talking to coaches, schools, and stuff like that. Do you go to a lot of camps and stuff over the summer?
I haven't went to not a lot of camps this summer. I've been basically just trying to catch up and stuff, and sit back and just worry about right now.
Being a kid. Being a kid. A lot of people, these kids, you see them going to camps every week, and it seems like you don't get to be a kid.
Yeah.
You know, it just seems like it's almost a full-time job at that point. It almost seems like, and I'm not saying it's not fun. You know, playing football is fun, right? I mean, you're playing the sport that you love. But in a lot of ways, if you do that all the time throughout summer, it almost seems like you're not having.
Kind of needed a break. That's all I needed.
Kind of needed a break. It's maybe just to recharge and stuff like that. Okay. Hey, we have to do it as sports writers, right? We have to do it. Let's look forward to the 2015 season. Do you think district championship is what you guys like? That's you have to do that. It's that or bust for you.
Yes. At the end of our thing, we always say state, but right now we need to worry about district. I think we're gonna win district this year. I'm very positive about it. So I think we're gonna win.
I got you. Who's going to be a breakout star for 2015 for you guys? Who do you think?
Let's see. I think
someone not named Azende Rey.
Not me. We have everybody's Azende Rey's team, all that. We have a lot of players. We got Jalen Jones, my brother, Wanye Thomas, Jace Fielder, Alfonso Glenn, Driggis Moore, Danny, the whole defense, Charlie, Wanye, all of them. We got a lot of playmakers on the team. So I mean.
Now, I heard Jalen does a really good Ric Flair impersonation.
Oh, yeah. So you're going to hear that a lot.
Does he really?
Yeah, that's our motivation.
So do you get in on are you part of it, too?
Yes, I do.
Are you doing the woo and stuff like that?
I'm right there.
Are you a big Ric Flair fan, a big wrestling fan? Okay. I've had him do it. I haven't had the whole experience of the locker room, like, before a game. I have to see that because I'm a huge wrestling fan, Ric Flair fan, everything. Did you guys get that from the Colts pretty much when the Colts were doing it?
Jalen just came in with it, and,
Jalen just one day came in and said, I want to start doing this, follow my lead. Is he really good at it now?
Yes, he's really good.
At first was it
It was a little rocky a little first, but when we got to it, everybody was just pumped, so,
What do you think is going to be the strength of this Walton team?
The strength is not quitting. We need to, keep pushing every day. We have a lack of depth. And, we have a little bit of small players, but at the same time, they got heart. And that's what's going to keep us going.
Okay.
So everybody, it's just like a family. We just keep each other up. When we fall, we got to pick them right back up.
As a player, you guys had to go through those 5 days where you really couldn't hit each other. You really couldn't put on full pads, and you're probably doing a lot of special team stuff. Is that almost, frustrating? Like, you just want to get out there and hit and play football?
It's kind of boring, but at the same time, you're working on the little things. I mean, special teams like me.
Special teams is important. Sometimes you don't always get a whole day of practice to get that in.
Yes.
Okay. But it gets boring, I imagine. It's kind of like, hey, coach, can we just, hit?
Because everybody's ready to hit each other. Not to kill each other, but, get that feeling again. Especially when we're seniors. Every day, every game that we have, we need to take that as our last because, we might get hurt, might not. But you got to play it like it's your last game.
I got you. Azende, thank you. Congratulations for being Danny Dozen for a second straight year. And, I got to see you once last year. I actually got to see you in the Mariana game where you were dragging about 4 different people on one play. Do you remember that play?
Yes, sir.
That's probably the play everyone talks about. Everyone, at least, probably the best play of the whole season for you. The one that really encompassed the whole season. That was a really cool play to watch. So, again, congratulations. Thank you again for doing this with me. And be on the lookout for your story on NWFDailyNews.com, all the Walton fans and stuff like that on NWFDailyNews.com. And, of course, obviously be out here at Walton High School on Fridays to watch you guys play because it's going to be a good season, talented group. All right, thanks again.